Hello, my name is Faisal Khan. I want to talk very briefly about, cryptocurrencies are being looked at very negatively in many countries. In many countries, they are looked at, like this is a source for outflow of capital. This is a source for illegal transformation and illegal transactions. This is a source for money laundering, drugs, drug money, illicit financing, etc., etc., etc. And this also all comes out of FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. In many countries, cryptocurrency is not defined, not regulated. It's not illegal, but it's not legal. But because it's not defined, the case can go either way. In some countries like Bangladesh, etc., they've actually defined it as illegal. And in many countries, it's, the state financial regulator, the central bank, etc., have not taken a position on it. In some countries, they've taken a position that banks themselves cannot touch it. Like Pakistan, for example, has that position that banks cannot touch crypto. It's deemed, the untouchable, so to speak. What I want to do in this video is to explain to the banks that it's inevitable that cryptocurrencies are going to play a role in your economy. So whether you're now in 2020 or in 2025 or 2028, it is inevitable that cryptocurrencies will come into your geographic territory. So what can you do now? Many of the central banks that I have had the very honor and privilege of speaking to are basically sitting on the fence. They want to see what this person does or what this country does. If this country decides to go with cryptocurrency, then maybe they will also go. But if this country decides to go against cryptocurrency, then they will maybe do against that. The problem is taking that decision. If they decide to ban cryptocurrency and cryptocurrency becomes the next thing, then they look stupid. If they decide to accept it and the world decides to ban it, again, they look stupid. So what do you do in such a situation? Well, you don't do anything. You become complacent, you leave it as it is, and you see where it goes. And all that gap basically takes away the oxygen for growth in your economy for anything to do with cryptocurrency, because you have not taken the right steps to encourage or foster entrepreneurship based on such technologies and money. The other part that they really need to look at licensing. If you offer small licenses, affordable licenses, and when I say affordable, $10,000, $5,000, $1,000, $50,000, and if you buy a $10,000 license, you can do, let's say, times 50. So you can do $500,000 worth of transactions on it per month. If you have $100,000, you can do $5 million worth of transactions per month, etc. So you can have these kind of licenses with limits and so forth, and bring them under the licensure, bring them under the compliance, offer them the technology, offer them the rails. Every now and then, there's a reset button. It's literally like this, reset. All the countries are aligned. Everyone, Japan, Korea, Gambia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, United States, Hong Kong, China, and then say go. And the countries that take effort, that invest in these new technologies, the bleeding edge technologies, and experiment with them and play with it and believe in it and trust and walk together meaning the entire ecosystems walk together, the financial regulators, the laws, the politicians, etc. Those are the ones that succeed. Others, they are hand-me-down lunches for you. That's what it is. You will be eventually. At some point in time, as a developing nation, with your begging bowl, you'll be a hand-me-down lunch. Do you really want to be that? You have the ability today to run forward. You choose not to. Imagine the injustice you do to the entire economy because you and your organization are slightly incompetent when it comes to making the right decisions, are maybe slightly afraid of making the right decision, are perhaps slightly not sure if this thing is the right decision to make or not. Because of your injustice, the entire ecosystem for entrepreneurship that could be bubbling with new ideas and coming up is stalled. It's really like a pen prick. Poop, poop, poop. You pop all the bubbles out and that's it. There's nothing happening in your economy because as a financial regulator, you failed to do your secondary duty, which is to make the economy work, bring that velocity of money going, bring the velocity of ideas going, bring the velocity of new entrepreneurs coming in, embrace cutting edge payment technologies that today have more fingerprinting capability than the regular cash associated industries, that have the more ability to find out who is doing right, where is it coming from, where is it going, etc. You can actually implement all those technologies, but guess what? The knee-jerk reaction and wag the tail and that's it. You don't want to do it. You just don't want to do it. And it pains me that even in my country, in Pakistan, State Bank of Pakistan has taken a stupid, silly decision of banning cryptocurrency. Why? Because there's incompetence at so many levels I can't even tell you. Don't even get me started. State Bank and I are like oil and water, oil and vinegar, whatever you want to call it. And we're at loggerheads with each other. They hate my guts and I probably hate theirs equally. But the fact of the matter is that there are so many other central banks. For example, the central bank, maybe I'm not allowed to say it, but of a very small country in Africa is now looking at embracing this thing. I was having a talk with the head of payments and the head of regulatory affairs for new, for new ventures, etc. For licensing, they give licenses out. And they are now visiting all these places, and in the COVID-19 thing, they're having webinars, they're attending all the webinars, etc., to understand how they can adopt a framework for their countries so that before the year end is open, they can offer a sandbox to their small population of entrepreneurs and say, you know what, embrace it, because they could possibly build the next payment rails for Africa. Possibly, no promise there, but they want to do that. Countries should go on the bandwagon and facilitate entrepreneurs in their country, startups in their country to accept cryptocurrency, to work on the blockchain, to work on allied technologies and not be afraid of it. It is incumbent upon the regulators to foster their growth and not take the oxygen away from it. I know these are harsh words, but they are words that must be said. Again, I feel that the injustice the central banks do to their own people is so much, and I can't tell you. And, they always say, oh no, we know best. Well, really? I mean, in 5 years or 9 years down the road, you will automatically be doing this. So why not do it now? Why not do it now under limited supervision, with easy regulatory licensing, with simple tasks and simple ways of getting access to the APIs and sandbox? Nurture them, give them incentives to build out something rather than they building all these things underground and you will not have any access to it. Anyways, like I said, these are harsh things to say. If you have a comment or a viewpoint on this thing, please post it below. I would love to hear about it. As always, if you have a business inquiry or would like to get in touch with us, there's a contact form in the description below. There's also a WhatsApp number and you can speak to me through that. Till next time, this is Faisal Khan signing off.